WAIF-FM as a community radio station serves only to open its airwaves to responsible, divergent points of view. The views of the expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views of the WAIF staff or Board of Trustees. The opinions expressed are those of myself or my guests. Thank you for listening. WAIF 88.3, Cincinnati, 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 Cincinnati.
What's happening, Tim? How you been, man?
What's going on, man?
WAIF 88.3. I'm Mr. Will the Thrill. Hey, it's been a long time, man, since we've been here together, man. I had a couple of personal things going on and everything, and I'm glad you are here with me tonight. Tim, glad to see you, my brothers.
How you, bro?
Hey, look here. Happy Veterans Day. I missed Veterans Day. I wasn't here a couple of weeks ago. My children were sick. I am glad that they're back healthy and feeling well. And I got a lot of things I wanna run by you and hit you with and everything and see how everything is going. We missed voting day. Did you get out and vote, Tim?
Of course I did.
Okay, so my candidate won, the same name as yours, Tim. You know?
No, he lost.
No, he won.
Vance won, bro.
Huh?
JD Vance won.
No, not when I looked. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that one.
You need to.
Okay, because I thought he did win, man.
No, he conceded.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
2 weeks late.
You know what? Stop, man. You know I'm always better late than never, right? But look here, man. Has been so much going on out here in the world today. I want everybody who's listening to us around the United States. Let's give a few shout outs to some of those people. We got people up there in Chicago. We got people down there in Alabama, down there in Tennessee. We got people in all over the state of Ohio. We got people in North Carolina. We got people in South Carolina. We got people in Tennessee. Got any other people, Tim?
Chicago.
I know y'all said that already.
Houston.
Houston. Give me some more. I know you got some other ones out there, Tim. Huh?
Not no more.
No more?
Not on top of my head.
Oh man, I got some in New York. I got some in Detroit. I got people all over Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton.
You'd rather have people in Cincinnati. We from here.
Yeah, well, whatever. Shoot, I got people up there in Akron and Cleveland. I mean, it's just people all over the place. You know, I want to send a big shout out to my friends and family. I want to send a big shout out to my children. Delilah. I am glad you are feeling so much better. You know, and she is doing so well. So we want to send a big shout out to all our children and out there. Tim, man. So tell me, man, what's going on with the weather, man?
It's wintertime. We've been lucky. So, you know, it's about that time. You know, you can look back at some Thanksgiving days and it's nice outside.
Mm-hmm.
Some Thanksgiving days where it's cold. It's all trying to be cold. We're gonna have a rough winter.
Yeah, somebody else said that, but I don't believe it's gonna be that bad, man. I really enjoy it.
All right, that's why you got a scarf on around your neck right now, and we're inside.
It says Bengals on it too. But
it's a scarf though.
You know what?
Ever had the Raiders, the Titans, the you know what I'm saying?
It's been a little cold, man.
Chicago Bear, White Sox Bear, whatever.
You know, it's been a little bit cold. So with that being said, let me say this. The Bengals are playing tomorrow in Pittsburgh in 35-degree weather. You think they're gonna have a chance?
No.
Man? Okay. I hate to say this, but you know you've been right on point about the football season this year, right?
Somewhat. My Raiders are doing good. My Titans are doing good. The Bengals, they're just the Bengals.
They just went back to being their regular 5-5.
I mean, they got lucky last year. They won a lot of close games.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Minnesota. They win a lot of close games. They're 8-1.
That's right.
Nobody's talking about them right now. Yeah, they better pay attention.
But you know who I think gonna really pull it out between Minnesota and San Francisco. You know that, right?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. That's who I think gonna be in the Super Bowl. I think
Who?
Minnesota and San Francisco.
How they gonna be in the Super Bowl? They in the same conference.
No. Okay. I might have to research that.
Yeah, they ain't got to research. I'm telling you. They're both in the NFC, so they can't be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, I know, I feel Minnesota will make it.
They ain't going nowhere.
I really do feel they will make it. I really do. You know, I thought Buffalo had a chance, but I don't know, man. They've lost some. They've dropped some bad things.
Anybody has a chance. So
But
it's a lot of parity in NFL. I think I said that before.
Yeah, you have
It's
said
a
that.
lot of parity in NFL this year.
Do you think that you know what? I was looking up some other stuff too about how other cities are looking at getting NFL teams. Well, you know, Columbus.
We don't need three NFL teams in the state of Ohio.
We need another basketball team. I think Cincinnati would be a hell of a team.
We barely supported baseball and football team. No.
Well, they built that big A soccer field over there, man.
They built it. I ain't built it. Look who it affected. Who was affected? The black community down there. Moving people out of there.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
Move them all out of there, man. You know, and you know they won't let too many of us work in that thing either.
Well, I'll tell you what somebody told me. And think about it. I don't know if I said this before.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. They built that stadium right behind TAB.
Right.
So within the next 5 to 10 years, that TAB High School is going to be their front office.
That's messed up, man.
Think about it. Right there. They're
That's
going to use their new
messed up.
building for their front office and build another TAB.
What they gonna build another TAB? TAB been there for years.
So what? So was that stadium. They moved that mode.
They sure did.
They got a whole bunch of space down there.
Built it right behind one police place.
Watch.
Too. That's kind of messed up, man. You know.
We let people just, they didn't want it in Hyde Park, but they throw it downtown while people were, and a lot of people would suffer from it.
So what do you think about the election race down in Georgia? How'd you like that one?
It did.
You didn't like that?
No.
Okay. So you think that a man who was a Republican, who happened to be black, who happened to be a football player, who happened to have...
A little illiterate.
You heard that right here, WAIF on 2 on the mic. Why you say he's illiterate?
Well, for one, I think they just put him up there just like they do some of us blacks, and they put them up to confront another black and to downplay that. And sometimes that black they put up against the other black, he don't even realize what they're doing. How can anyone, just like, I don't care, you know me. Just like
I know
we might watch a number 45 rally,
right?
and they got black people standing right behind him cheering.
That's true. That's true.
That's strategically set up to put them right behind him cheering for him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's strategic.
It is strategic because there's no way you're gonna tell me that black person just happened to be right there behind him in camera. No way.
I'm just saying, man. You know, I think, and you know, like Herschel Walker, you ain't never thought about politics before. Now you want to run up against this dude. You should say no, thank you. But I'm pretty sure he got something put in his pocket to do that.
Well,
That's what's wrong with some of us. Sometimes we so blind with money and everything. We'll stab our own brother in the back just to get ahead, and we should be uplifting that brother. Same thing. I feel the same thing with Kyrie Irving and them. You know, they
correct.
You know, you got Shaq and Charles Barkley, even LeBron James. Sometimes they talking down on him, and instead of lifting that brother up, you know, he's going through something. You know, it's his right to believe what he wants to believe. All he said is, watch the movie. They want him to apologize, and the apology wasn't good enough. You know, it was a slave trade that went on years ago, and they had a part of it. They gonna come apologize for that? Nope.
Don't get me started on the
No,
slaves.
they ain't gonna come apologize for that.
No, because
it was a couple of slave trades going on.
That's
Wasn't it? You know,
correct.
it was a couple, and they was involved in one of them.
That's correct.
They didn't come apologize for that.
That's correct.
So you know, we're not gonna get on that subject.
You know, we don't want to get on that subject because see, that's a real sore subject.
But the main topic I was trying to get at is we're always quick to jump on each other.
That's correct.
Back, and this is not a racial statement or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just saying that for money, we can do anything to stab our brother in the back. But I don't see other people doing it. I don't see other races doing it. If they're doing it strategic, when it's time to battle and all that, it's all hands on deck. Let's go and get it. Let's go and get it. Let's go and do what we need to do, but not us.
We can't stick.
Not us.
We can't stick together to buy two.
Something as simple as getting a child to do the right thing. Here it is. People are trying to get your child to do the right thing in a school. But it might be a parent to come up and getting on the people that's trying to help your child instead of saying, "Dad, my child is a child. She's wrong."
Correct.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. I done been through so much, you know, not personal, but just things I've been through in the past 2 or 3 months, or like trying to get our kids on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
If the parent comes in ignorant, you know where the child's getting from.
Correct.
I'm talking to a parent, and the child jumps in the conversation. You know me, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to your mama. Mama get mad. I say, you know what, this conversation over. We see what the problem is. Have a good day. But it's always so defensive about your child. Your child's a child. Children do childish things. They do things. They're wrong most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're a child. So this generation. I was talking to the missus the other day. We talking about how this generation of parents and their children are so emotional. They so sensitive. They got glass chin. They got glass jaws. They can dish stuff out, but they can't take it back when somebody comes back at you. They're so emotional and so, their heart is on their sleeve, man. They're not built, to listen and take constructive criticism, man. Like they say, you can only speak once, but you got 2 ears. Listen twice, you got 1 mouth. Listen sometimes. Shut the hell up.
Wow. Well, when we were growing up, we had to sit there and be quiet. And, we had this saying, be seen and not heard, and very, very seldom seen. And today, they want to be heard before and seen more often than the parents, or more often than the adults in the room. And sometimes it takes the adults to show them how to act also.
Man, but some of these parents now, some of them were raised by grandparents, raised by aunties, raised by siblings, and there ain't no grandma no more.
Ain't no grandma no more.
No, I mean, they got to be the mama instantly.
Right.
So I can run over you. After a while, you can't keep up with me. Most grandparents ain't up on technology like that.
That's correct.
Like, I'm a grandparent, but I'm a what they call baby boomer grandparent.
Yeah,
So I'm still trying to buy stuff. I'm still trying to go here and go there. We trying to take trips here. I still want the latest technology. So you can't pull the wool over my eye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the generation before me, maybe a little older than you, Will, they're not all on that technology stuff.
No, I get lost sometimes in some of the technology.
Mm-hmm.
And, somebody told me just the other day, you should always be monitoring what your children
Well, I've told you that plenty of times too.
You should be monitoring what your children are reading and watching on their phones and on their computers. And it's very hard being a parent today. And I have three little ones, and even at this age, and it's very hard monitoring everything that they are privy to today.
Right.
And so, I can imagine if you don't take the time out as a parent to see what they got, to see what they're doing, see how they are performing, and don't believe everything that they say is law, then you are lost and you will lose them. Don't go just shut yourself in the room because you want to have quiet time with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to sit back and see what your children are doing.
Even as simple as this, how they dress and leave the house.
That's correct.
I asked, we have you're supposed to have a specific dress code, in the school system, but it is what it is. You'd rather have the child in the school versus out on the street because it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. People getting kidnapped, child molested, all that stuff. I haven't asked my girl the other day. I say, do your mom let you come out the house like that, or do you throw clothes on, and when you leave the house, you change your clothes? She said, no, my mom let me come out like that. I said, well, with tights on because you ain't about to run track or about to go hoop nowhere. You ain't about to run no sports. Do it is easy. I said, she said, don't your daughter do it? I said, no. I said, and I got 4 of them. None of them would do it.
That's correct.
I said, they don't even come out of the house with pajamas on. And we got grown girls as well. We don't walk around with no bonnet on their head like they about to make a pizza. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know, they don't come out tights like, you know, maybe they going to track practice, but just walking to the store with pajamas and all that stuff. No, they don't do that.
We got a caller, man.
I don't care.
You know, but you are absolutely 100% right, because I see people coming out and letting the kids come out just any kind of way.
Right.
And my question is, especially if you got growing children, growing daughters especially,
Right.
you know, why you let them come out like that?
Yeah.
And then somebody, you know, we got old perverts, and you got old weirdos out there who are looking at young girls and they got no business looking at them like that. And then you want to get offended because they are looking that way. You know, I always try to make sure that my children come out looking a particular way, because in them coming out looking that way, they are a representative of me. And so this is these things that we should be always being aware of, because we got our people out there that are looking at them and wondering why, and making sure that they mind their manners and make sure they say yes sir and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am, because it is very important that you show respect out here when your parents aren't watching. You know, the hardest thing to do is to do the right thing when everybody else is not watching. That's a form of integrity.
That's true.
You know, so you know, I'm gonna tell you, Tim, working in the school system today, that is got to be one of the hardest positions and jobs there is today.
I think it depends on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it's like the easiest thing. It's like the easiest job I've had in a long time. And also, you know, it's also an honor for me because I'm working in a school where I actually graduated from, and I can tell stories about when I went to West High. You know, there was race riots. We wasn't fighting each other. We was fighting against people trying to kick us out the school and trying to jump us, and bus drivers throwing us off the bus at 8th and State and making us run across the 8th Street Bridge, knowing that, you know, there was a lot of whites down at 8th and State that wanted to get with us. You know, I remember we passed through, going down Glenway Avenue, it was white.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I went to schools on the outskirts of Dayton, because it was always said that we would get a better education out there. But it was always just one bus load of just us.
Of course, they don't want y'all on the bus load.
Right. It was just one bus load.
Even back then.
And it was very interesting how a lot of us were treated and viewed in those days. And even when we had I remember we had two black teachers, and the principal was black. And I never forget how the one black teacher, Miss Powell, always said that the impression that you give to everyone else is that impression that you give when you are viewed by everybody else. So you must make sure that you give a better impression when you are representing yourself, because that is what they view, and they look at you and see that you are representing not just yourself, but your parents and a whole race. So you want to be able to show, because they try to clump us all together anyway, and think just because this one walks around with his pants hanging down, you do it also. No, it don't work that way.
Dude, I seen, and I thought they would, you know, that would be a phase that passed away.
Right.
It's cold outside. You don't feel that cold wind on your booty?
Right.
Pull your pants out, bro.
Right.
And this thing with people not combing their hair, I guess it's a style, everybody going to dread. I understand the dread part, but I have a meaning for growing. You know, not just combing, you know. Explain to me, tell me why you don't want to comb your hair. That's a style like that for me. But it's like the awareness is gone. Like the black awareness is gone. And sometimes they say like, well, y'all just old. No. Some of y'all just lazy. Y'all ain't been taught the right way. And you know, like, I think you've heard me say this before. My dad says every generation gets dumber and dumber.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, it happens, but I just understand it.
But you don't want them to get dumber and dumber.
Of course you don't.
But you want and you want to step up and try to teach them to be able to teach the next ones behind you. But I have found in my travels and everything that those that I run into don't want to learn a certain thing in order to pass it on to the next generation. They want it right now, and
they don't want to work for nothing.
They don't want to work for nothing. They want it right now. They want to be rich. They want to have this. They want to have a nice house, a nice car, but they don't want to work for it. They you know, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem about the rappers. I don't have a problem about the entertainers. None of that. But remember, those people also put in work to get where they're at.
And you know, it was also something went on this week that a younger rapper said something about an older rapper who's been around
For years.
Yeah,
I heard
and
that.
said that he's not relevant.
Yeah, I
Dude,
heard
he's one of the top. He's one of the greatest MCs of all time.
Yeah, I heard it.
So you know, to hear someone like 21 Savage say Nas isn't relevant, dude, there's people out here listening to Nas. I bet Nas got more money than you, so what makes him not relevant?
I
He
bet.
got more money than you. Trust me, I know he does.
I bet.
And he's got more albums. His discography is way longer than yours.
Okay. Let everybody know what that meaning of that word is that you just used,
What?
because we know that they don't have.
What, discography?
Yeah. You know. Come on now.
It's basically a diary of all the CDs that you've made or albums you've made over your career.
Correct.
You know, that's what it is.
So, because you know now, you use a word, they got, what did he just say?
Right.
You know, be able to open up your mind.
I was today. We had a scrimmage today, and I had to pick up a couple of kids. And when they got in the car, I said, "Y'all, excuse me, I'm listening to DJ Jazzy Jeff mix live." You know, those who listen to DJ Jazzy Jeff, he'll hit all, and kind of like right now, that's my hero. Him and Kid Capri, them my DJ heroes. So I listen to a lot of their mixes. So he goes on live, and he's bringing old school and new school back. And when the player was like, "Man, you had to listen to old school," I said, "No, that was a DJ. He was mixing and bringing old school and new school together. Sometimes you just have to listen. You know, the gym, they want to put stuff on that you don't listen to because you just got to chant now. Like most rap songs you hear now, they got a chant. They're not writing, they're just chanting. The chant could be the chorus, but we always want something simple, like you just said.
That's right.
We don't want to take time to sit down and listen to something because everything is hybrid, everything is fast. Everything's fast food, everything's fast in the microwave, everything is do this fast, everything is on the computer. Sit down and listen to what somebody's saying sometimes. You might learn something.
Open up your mind. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Open up your mind. Open up your ears to open up your mind to where you might learn something and be able to progress from day to day. You might learn something.
You know, it's just so much stuff that they're just doing to us, and we don't even see it, even from the vapes, bro. Like these vapes these kids are using right now.
Oh my God.
Between that and the damn everything's flaming hot.
Right. Right.
Between the flaming hot and the vapes and bro, I'm catching kids with this shit. Ooh, my bad, John. I'm about to get fined, but yeah.
Hey man, watch that, man. Watch out. Watch out.
If I get my fine, 'cause this is about to be some real stuff. Hey, but yo, these kids, I'm like 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds with vapes in their pocket.
Right.
2 and 3 of them. And they actually, you know, they don't care. And no one, who's teaching them?
Well,
some of them might be peer pressure, but after a while.
The vapes, you know, they're trying to outlaw that, and I don't know how a 13 or 14-year-old is able to get them.
They got 18-year-old friends.
Oh
Think about it.
God.
Think about it.
And,
You could be in the 7th grade at West High. You're 12.
right.
You're going to school with 12th graders.
Right.
Some of them might have failed, so they 19.
Oh my goodness.
They're part of your neighborhood. I can't lie. When I was going to date her, I was a 7th grader, but when I caught the 33, it was 9th graders on there.
Right.
You know, coming from where I come from, shoot, I was the only child. So for them, it's like, come on, look, little Tim, hang with us.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was a part of something. Did I follow some of the stuff they did? Yes,
Right.
I did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's 7th, 8th, and 9th. You can imagine what a 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, 11th, 12th graders do that. Some of them 12th graders dating them little girls, bro.
And that's why I can't let everybody know, you know.
You know what I'm saying? It's some real stuff going on out there. You gotta pay attention to what's going on with your daughters. Pay attention to what's going on with your sons. Pay attention to who's around them. Pay attention to when they go to the show. Who's picking you up? Who you going with? Okay, do their mom know they going? Okay, they said, my mom said, he said you can come pick them up. Well, let me talk to their mama first. Do you mind if your daughter or son go to show with my daughter, they gonna ride with, do that stuff. Do your research just like you do research on TikTok. You got time to research on TikTok, research who your kids are around.
Well, I'm always, so I was accused of
Message.
I was accused of being too overprotective of mine. And I always believe that you can never be too overprotective. You have to be always aware of who you have around your children, letting them who be around them. I'm so protective and so weary about who I have around them. I let nobody that I don't know very well around my children, because it's my job as a parent, as a father, to protect them. And you know that.
Of course.
You know that.
Every now and then, you get situations where parents don't want to be parents. Let me say that again. You have some situations where parents have kids, but they don't want to be parents. You shouldn't have that child. But why are you having another one? And another one? And another one? Those are your kids. You take care of them. But sometimes you have problems where they don't take care of them. They go to other people for love and affection and attention. And sometimes it might be the wrong person they go to for their attention. It could be the wrong group of girls. It could be the wrong group of guys that influence them to do things that they shouldn't be doing in the first place. But where were you at? Let them go free. Let them roam and do what they do. Come in all kinds of, times of the night. Let them wear what they want to wear. Probably because they see you wear it half the time. So you think it's okay. They probably see you vape. They probably see you drink. Especially as a young age, for a while. And I take a sip or two. For a while, my youngest, when they were young, I didn't do anything around them.
Yeah, me either.
I waited till they went to bed.
Me too.
But they're of age now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, my youngest child is a junior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
She makes good decisions. She knows right from wrong. So if I'm sitting there watching the game, I might pour me a little something in the glass or whatever. But I'm not worried about her because she's an athlete. Well, she knows she's so competitive. That's gonna slow me down. Now she got older siblings that are grown. They can do what they want to do. But you can't do everything in front of your children. You act ratchet, your child gonna act ratchet. You cussing in front of all your kids, they gonna do it the same way. So what happens is they go to school with that same way. Like my mama cool with it. I can do it in school too. Bro, we got a lot of social issues in the black community.
And well, I just got a text from my daughter, and I'm very proud of her because she does make some very hard and good decisions. And sometimes it is up to me as a father to try to show her even more how to make those better decisions. And I know I didn't make all the right decisions in growing up myself.
No, that's why that's what stuff that makes us better parents. And
yes.
We can say, don't do this.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Watch out for this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and even, and I'm gonna say this to you, Tim, it can be it does not have to be a group of your peers that are bad. You can get the wrong kind of information from some of your own family members.
Yeah. Before I forget, one of the proudest things I am of all my kids, is that none of them were pregnant while they were in high school.
Right.
They waited till they was grown.
Right.
Waited till they were out of school. Waited till they were out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like my youngest two daughters, I don't even think they gonna have kids. They got so many nieces and nephews. They like, nope.
And it's very important that you teach them, especially growing up.
Not only that you teach them, you live the right way in front of them.
In front of them, that's correct.
You ain't got to teach them nothing because
That's
they see it. They see it.
They watch.
They see the struggles that the parents
right.
went through and the sacrifice they made
That's
for
right.
for them
That's
and
right.
all that.
And they watch you.
And they watch you.
Watch you like they sitting outside your door
Yeah.
sometimes listening, and you don't even know they listening. You know, so you got to make sure that you set an example for them at all times, no matter what, always, forever, no matter what. You know,
We got, it's,
you know.
we're still trouble. We're still a troubled people, man.
Well, we've been in trouble, people.
Yeah, but when are we gonna
For a very long
when we gonna
time.
stop it though? Because it's getting worse.
Well, I'd say this.
Every day on the news, man.
That is an age-old problem that happened before we can ever begin to think, because we learned that kind of behavior well back before the slavery time. That's right.
That's right.
You know, and
same thing going on now with the Herschel Walker thing. And
correct. You
we
know,
got a house Negro and a field Negro.
And that's right. And if I can pit, and we can pit each other against each other, right? You know, the most detestable thing that I can tell you that is hardcore and misunderstanding and misleading is when you take each other down to downtown, as we like to say, to the court system, and try to pit each other against each other. Be able to stand up as men and women and be able to talk over your differences face to face without having to go down to the court system, because the court system, the only thing they want to see is us down there against each other, one on one.
Something popped in my head, but it popped out real quick. You know.
Oh man, you ain't old.
And that's one of the things too. Like I said, knowing what to communicate, because everybody thinks their word is better than the other person.
That's correct.
No, if you say 5 words, let me say 5 words. I'm gonna listen to your 5 words. You listen to my 5 words. You gotta communicate, and it goes back to also too relationships with your parents, or the relationship with an absent parent that's not around.
Correct.
So you might grow up in a single parent home with the mom. Perfect example, say a female. You never have a relationship with a male role model. So when you grow up, you're always at it with a male. You can't get a conscious effort to make things better with a male because you didn't grow up around a male. Same with guys. You grow up with a woman most of your life. You had a conversation with a man. You don't know how to sit down and settle your differences because you see maybe your mom and your dad get into it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to. You never were taught, or you didn't get to experience that as 2 parents in the household.
That's right.
We gotta. You guys. That I'm not gonna say deadbeat because I don't like that, because none of us dead. None of us are dead because we're still around to do it. There's some people out there that have not had a conversation with their dad in years.
That's correct.
There's people who haven't had a conversation with their moms in years. Just reach out every now and then. I don't care if it's once a Sunday. I told a couple kids, that before. The last time you talked to your dad. Without him, you wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's
I don't care
correct.
what your mom would say. 9 out of 10, it's 2 sides of every story. But if you've been hearing one story for 15 years, maybe you need to hear the other side just as well. Because you might find out some stuff that you didn't get to hear.
You didn't get to hear. That's right.
Or you just hearing that side because they want to keep you close to their bosom. Ooh, that would be. You said it good. I ain't gonna say it.
You know what? Don't even say that no more, man.
We just got a lot of stuff going on.
Well,
I know we're rumbling on, and it's good to talk about a lot of stuff.
But the thing is, these are conversations that we need to always have, because we don't have enough of these type of conversations. Because when you don't have these kind of conversations and you don't sit down with your children, You don't sit down with your fellow man. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. If you don't sit down and try to be able to communicate across the lines, no matter how old you are or how young you are, then you never get to the root of the problem.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story, and it's funny because I make a joke out of it. But sometimes my youngest daughter, she goes over to cousin's house, and she might spend the night for the weekend or whatever. She might go Friday night, come back Sunday, and I joke with her, even though me and her when I talk to her, like, what's going on with her? No, she's okay, she's okay. When she comes home on Sunday, she'll say, hey Dad, how you doing? I said, I'm okay, but how you been? What do you mean? I was over cousin blah blah house. I talked to Mom. I said, you ain't talk to me? I don't matter? She's like, Dad, you don't mean that. I'm like, but still though, you call and check with Mom. She said, well, I figured that whatever was going on, Mom would tell you. Yes, she probably does, but why can't you call and talk to me just like you talk to Mom?
That's correct.
Don't leave us dads out.
That's correct.
She's like, oh, Dad, what I mean? I know, but that's something that's a teaching lesson. We joke about it, and I know my daughter loves me very much. She know I love her, all my kids. But it's some things that if you don't present it to them, they don't know. Even though I don't think she's gonna have kids no time soon.
I had a woman tell me something.
But when she grows up, she'll pass that along to her child.
That's correct.
Like it was a guy. I'm not gonna say the child's name. One of my basketball players. His mom be on me, man. She be like, Coach, text me, Coach Tim, practice out? Yeah, we ran a little late. Okay, I was making sure. Coach Tim, you checked the grades? Yeah, I checked the grades. I'm like, dude, man, you doing what you're supposed to do? Yeah, Coach Tim, I'm doing it. Coach Tim, he ain't called me all day. I ain't heard from him. I don't hear from him from the time he leaves to go to practice. I said, dude, call your mom at lunchtime. Before she come up here and whoop both of us. And I might see him in the hallway. I'm like, dude, did you text your mama today? Middle of the day? He's like, yeah, Coach Tim. I said, man, do that every day. I said, women are very emotional.
That's correct.
And, being a single mom is even stressful at times. I said, dude, check on your mom. There's a lot of stuff going on out here.
Being a single dad is stressful. Okay?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay.
I experienced that for a little bit.
I'm experiencing that all the time.
Yeah.
I have my children every 2 weeks, and sometimes it can be very stressful. Like I told you, all three of them were sick at one time, and trying to get them well, it was very, very stressful. I spent the night in the hospital with one all night, and still had to get up and go to work. So these types of things, a lot of women don't even see or don't even understand. And what I was about to say was I had a woman tell me once, which goes back to what you said. How can you know how to treat a man if you didn't have a father in the home to show that example?
Some of them have uncles. It's not the same though. Some have granddads. It's not the same though.
That's correct.
Because you didn't get to witness the relationship with mom and dad.
Correct.
Perfect example. Me. I have never. I'm not gonna say never. I can't even remember ever my mom and dad standing up.
Okay.
Because they got divorced before I was one.
Okay.
So therefore, I would never know. It's funny because until like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I've never had a picture with both of them in the same picture with me.
Wow.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Something like
Right.
that. I think maybe 2018, my birthday, I had a picture with both of them. And then my 50th birthday party, I had a picture with both of them. Only pictures I had with all three of us in the same picture.
And I hope everybody within the sound of my voice hears this, because some of this is so phenomenal in your growth, in you growing up, because it's very hard sometimes to try to get people on the same page and make them understand.
Because everybody's built different.
It's not about, but it's not about it's not about you as an individual. It's about those that you are trying to raise and show a better way. That's the truth.
Yeah. So like I said, we're all different for a reason. You might have different traits. You might, like the same things. You might like the same colors. But, you know, sometimes you, like, me and the missus, we've been together for over 20 years. Sometimes, you know, that text, or I'm texting, I was just about to call you. Or I was just about to text you.
Right.
Or, what we eating tonight? You know, I was just thinking about the same thing.
Right.
You become a part of each other.
That's correct.
By being around each other.
That's correct.
After a while, you know, you know what? I don't even want to hear it. I already know. I'm about to go get the trash. Or I know I'm falling asleep on the couch.
Right.
You know what, man? I hate that, bro. That's a funny story. Hey, it's the funny thing is, my mom and my dad to this day, you know, I've lived with both of them growing up. Not the same house,
right.
But different times of my life as a child. It's a problem, man. I do not like going to sleep. I hate sleep, man. I hate sleep. Like, if I'm watching the game, like, my dad used to catch me up, all of them. I'm watching the game, I fall asleep. They'll catch me sleep. Go to bed. Man, I ain't sleep.
Right.
Go to bed. My wife said, I ain't losing no more sleep because I'm gonna leave you down here.
Right.
My daddy and my mom, they say the same thing. They said when I was little, I got like a little dent in the back of my head, bro. They said I would bang my head to sleep because I did not want to go to sleep.
Wow.
But just certain things like that, you know what I'm saying, that when you're around people a long time, they know you, and then they go through the same things you go through. And, you know, kids need to watch and experience that as well. Like, my kids will probably say, like, Dad probably home. He ain't about to go nowhere. Versus the kid said, shoot, it's saying that my daddy going out to party.
Correct. Right.
You know, my kids sit here and say, if I going somewhere and it's late, 9 out of 10, the missus is with me. This is probably the latest I stay out. I'm like, come to the radio station.
On Saturday night, yeah. Be like, hold up, man. Like,
this is my wait time. You know, sometimes.
Right.
But I had to learn too. Like for 2 years, we were going straight. But I had to take some Saturday nights to be with, you know, the family or my kids or the wife. So, you know,
and that's
I like it with you. I like you.
I like you. But sometimes I gotta leave you alone. And you know, that's what I was saying, man. You know, it's been a while. This is the first time we've been together in a couple of weeks.
I know we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So it's like, music will come, maybe it won't. But yeah, just sitting here and just chopping it up with your brother sometimes is good. It's good therapy. Talking is good therapy. Listening to others is good therapy. Getting your feelings hurt sometimes, it's good therapy.
It's good therapy.
Explaining why your feelings get hurt, it's good therapy.
It wakes you up.
Open your mouth, talk. Stop having a grudge against somebody for years for something petty. Jealousy and envy kills us. Let me repeat that.
Jealousy and envy kills us. Say it again.
Jealousy and envy kills us.
But in the scheme of things, when if you go back over 400 years, what did they do to us to make us be conquered and divided?
They put us against each other.
Okay.
You know, we had the.
Right.
Try not to have a Malcolm X moment. But
he said try not to have a Malcolm X.
But you know, most of those house Negroes were when the master had intimacies with his slaves and the lighter kid came out.
Correct.
He wanted that kid to be close to his house.
That's correct.
So the light skinned ones, 9 out of 10, they was in the house. The chocolate ones was out in the field grinding.
And it was the same kids.
Yeah.
They were by the same man.
They might have the same mama,
same mama,
dad.
same dad, different dad. So, right.
Still goes on to this day.
That's correct.
I'm living proof.
Oh, wow.
I'm living proof.
Living proof.
Living proof, bro. Still goes on to this day.
Right to this day.
No matter how old I am, still goes.
You know,
parents play favorites too. Some of them, they have a big part of it.
Really?
Oh yes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go on, and I've been saying this all week. The Pike County thing, he gonna get off, man.
You think so?
Yes.
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because they don't have him in none of the scenes.
That's correct.
Okay. He brought up some of the facts that the two parents showed favoritism to the younger brother.
That's correct.
Now all three of y'all gonna plead guilty to get him, bro. It's gonna be a hung jury. He's gonna get off.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I figured that one was gonna get off. Right.
Because all of a sudden, okay, I'm gonna plead guilty if you let me testify against him.
Yeah.
That's just fishy to me, bro. I don't care what is going on. I'm never gonna testify against my brother. I'm never gonna testify against my son. And if I was a mom, I wouldn't testify against my son. I'm just gonna take the blame. You already get in jail anyway.
Right.
What you gotta say something for?
Wow.
Because a snake is a snake. So if you're gonna snitch and rat, you're doing it for a purpose. To save your own butt.
Save your own butt.
Was it so bad that you could turn against your son like that?
What's so bad that you turn against your daughter like that?
My man said, I didn't even know all the rollers.
Right.
I only know a couple of them. I think he's gonna get off, bro.
Yeah.
Or not even get off. He might not get as much because they say he can do something and still walk out one day.
You know, I was reading something too else.
Man, let me set my coat up. It's kind of freezing up in this piece.
Man, it's nice in here, man.
You got a scarf on, I don't.
You,
I'm about to zip this hoodie up.
you know,
My skull came back up.
some of the same stuff is going on. It's going on in all parts of the world, man. I mean, look at what's going on right there in our own Congress. You know, here's a man who is in an interracial marriage and voted against the bill that would protect interracial marriages. What kind of stuff is
I missed that one.
You missed that one?
Yes, sir.
Mitch.
We ain't talking about that Mitch.
That Mitch.
Not that Mitch.
That Mitch.
Man.
Up there in Congress. He's married to somebody of color.
Mitch is?
Mitch.
Ain't this a Mitch?
Ain't that a Mitch? And he voted against the bill.
So Mitch got a black Mitch.
Mitch got a
Mitch got a black Mitch.
Mitch got him a
black Mitch.
A mix of color.
So he got black wife.
Yes.
You sure?
That's what it says right here. You want me to read it to you?
No, just show me the picture.
You want me to read
I want to see that Mitch.
So see, I'm ready to try to find out what she looked like.
I want to see that Mitch.
You know? I'm going to try to find her.
With that gobble that he got hanging there. No, I don't believe you, bro.
He do look like it. He do, don't he?
No, he don't have no, he ain't got no Mitch. Look it up, bro. I don't believe you, man. That's probably why he got a nice hairstyle.
You know what? Stop. Yeah, she's Asian.
Bro, I mean, I know Asian are of some color.
There it is.
Okay, I see yours. Height. Bro, I'm just saying. Let me say this the right way.
Say it the right way now, because I know what you're going to say.
We have, okay, stereotypically, I'm making a word, stereotypically, African Americans are, what color?
She's Taiwanese.
Wani?
She's Taiwanian.
Like lion?
She's from Taiwan.
Taiwan? What kind? Stella Rose?
You know.
Stella Rose whining? Or Ripple whining? While I was Rose whining? Hey, bro.
The opinions expressed on this program do not express.
Hold on. Was he in the military, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do not
All right.
express.
We already said that at the top of the hour, man. 88.3 WAIF Cincinnati. What radio is meant to be. But yo, man, I got tears coming out my eyes, man. I got tears coming out my eyes, bro. Two got me crying. But yo, check this out. Check this out.
Oh man.
African Americans are usually what color? Black or brown.
Black or brown.
Indians or
Usually red or black
okay, or brown.
or brown.
Chinese are usually like a little beige.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm just we
Puerto,
just
and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are a little.
Puerto Rico, oh
Yeah,
Puerto Rico.
Rico.
My grandson,
Yeah,
yeah. He love that.
So they're a little bit of have a little bit more color.
Okay, okay. They ain't black though. They of color. They of color. They'd rather be their skin color than my skin color.
Okay.
Okay? So
Okay.
therefore, that Mitch ain't black. That Mitch ain't black. That Mitch is Chinese. Or
Look.
Korean. You know what I'm saying? Or Oriental.
Oriental.
There you go.
Okay. Well, they they called it an interracial marriage.
I mean, it is an interracial marriage, but that Mitch ain't black.
She ain't black.
No, she's not.
No. She is from Taiwan.
I won't walk up on her though. She probably knows something like that. She probably knows something like that. It man.
You know that they make hollow points for that. You know that, right? But look.
But he did what now?
But so he voted against the bill to protect interracial marriages.
To protect. Okay.
You
I'm
know.
down with that. That's cool.
He voted against it.
Oh, against it.
He voted against it.
That man's tripping.
He's from Kentucky too. Yeah, he's from Kentucky.
I'm boy.
Okay. I mean, what do you expect from being from Kentucky? Huh? He don't even know how to ham bone, man. He
ham bone.
Yeah, he don't even know how to ham bone, man. You know, we originated that, okay?
Yeah, right.
So, but you know, and that's the kind of stuff that is going on
You know what,
around
man?
here, man.
You know what? Some of my worst experiences, racism, was in the state of Kentucky. Even up to probably about 5 years ago, bro. I didn't experience 5 years ago. My son did. But could you imagine in the late 70s being a black kid from Avondale, Hill Avenue, going to Columbia Elementary on the corner of, now it's Martin Luther King and Redden Road. I believe that was Mellish back then. Mellish and Redden Road. Going from that school, going to the inner city of Covington to go to school. But your mom was in an interracial relationship. Covington and Cincinnati is almost the same, so they're close. Once you leave Covington and you go out to Erlanger, Independence, back in the 80s, could you imagine the stuff I went through, bro?
Well, I can tell you.
No. Hold on. Could you just imagine the stuff I went through as a kid, being in an all-white school in the 70s, in the late 70s, and the 80s, out in Independence, Kentucky. I said one day, and I'm gonna do it. So, and you know what? I might do this over Christmas break. It's the perfect time to do it. Got a lot of my grandkids and my youngest daughter, the stuff they can remember. I said I was gonna take them to everywhere I've stayed, from kindergarten over to the year I graduated.
Well, I can tell you that.
There's so much stuff I went through, so much racism I went through.
In my travels in the military, you go into these different states, and the worst TDY I had, that's training duty, was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Was in Fort Campbell. The racism in that particular area was so strong that we stayed basically secluded and on base. Because you could feel it. I mean, you know, they say there's no racism in the military. We all green, right?
Yeah, that's some bull.
No, man, no. No, you did.
That's some bull snicker.
You did. Yes, a bunch of bull snooky. That's right.
Some bull snickers.
You know. Well, look here, Tim. I'm glad you're back here, man. I'm glad I'm here with you tonight. And
well, we almost, you know, let's not get off that subject though for a second, because as you get older, you start to learn more things.
That's correct.
And you know, Everybody entitled to their opinion. Like my man, like I said in the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have had if my mom or my dad, probably more so my mom, would have had the knowledge of what was going on, the knowledge of herself, what she was doing to me as a young black boy, just the anger that was building up into me, that made me kind of look back at myself and feel like I was an Uncle Tom, or just that normal jigaboo that was in the all-white school. Because some of the stuff I would go through, like say we had parties, I was the one they always wanted me to dance, they always wanted me to put on a show, and me not knowing, I know I'm talented. I know I can dance, I can do all this, I can sing, not knowing back then what they were really doing to me. But then growing up and reading, books of, Message of the Black Man, reading stuff like, the autobiography of Malcolm X, reading stuff like that, and make me have a little knowledge of myself, like, they were really making fun of me.
It was making fun of you.
They was making fun of me, I remember times, hey, at this point, I can remember times where we weren't allowed to my sister's dad, because we got different dads.
Mm-hmm.
He was Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't allowed to go to their house for Christmas or Thanksgiving. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that type of stuff. I experienced that early. You know what I'm saying? So, but then to have to come, I was always over my Auntie Eleanor's house. Miss you, Auntie Eleanor, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. My wife is getting on me, telling me I need to call my aunties and my great aunts. I'm calling them tomorrow. Going over to my Auntie Ada's house. God bless her, she's not with us anymore. But just experiencing that stuff young, and then when we were rejected, basically, you know what I'm saying, from out there in the boondocks, and we had to come back to the city of Cincinnati. I had 3 years of education being around Caucasian. So I talk white, I talk Caucasian, I speak proper English. My clothes were all buttoned up and ironed and to my neck and things like that.
You sound like Will.
G. Whitaker
You see.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
I come back to Hackberry with my grandma, they like, where you from, cuz? I'm not cousins. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I gotta change my whole life, change life. I gotta change.
Correct.
You go through that, then you get older, you start going through racial stuff in high school and racial stuff in the military. Like, man, all this, man. I'm starting to see things that, and sometimes I think I was supposed to go through all that stuff for a reason. I think going through all that stuff made me who I am, and speak up and not back down, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Speak my mind. And you don't like it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think going through all that made me who I am, but fortunately, I had a grandmother and grandmas. And, my dad came in my life later on after, going through so much stuff. I'm one of the lucky ones. But how many aren't as lucky as me? How many aren't as lucky as me and they're in the school system now? And they went through way worse than me. You know what I'm saying? Like child abuse. I used to get my ass tore up. I think I might have been. But at the same time, they going through way worse. Sexual abuse, getting kidnapped. Parent done took them and came back and stuff like that. And they don't have the strong foundation that both my grandmas and my dad at the time, I was a little older. Some of them don't have that.
No, but I think that the family unit has always been one of those things that has always been in question. And as us growing up as black men, because I never had a strong foundation when it came to having a black man in my life. I had to learn things from different men in order to try to get to what I need to get to where I am now.
Before I forget, I'm one that's I'm one that's never met a granddaddy.
Never met a grandfather.
Never met a granddaddy. Never
Yes.
made a great grandma or anything like that.
I did have my grandfather, who was very strict,
Mm-hmm.
very strict. So and my mother was very strict. So the Army was just, the Army became my daddy because I joined at 17.
Right.
So that was one of those where, as I grew up, but the family unit has always been one of those things that has always been in question when it comes to us as black people. And us as black men have to be a lot more understanding of how that dynamic works. Our leaders of past always said that the way to destroy a black family, right, is to remove the black man out of that family.
That was a structured plan though. They've been doing that forever. That's a structured plan. I mean, we seen it on TV show. We seen it on miniseries. How many times the Roots they took their whole family.
Right. Correct.
Kizzy was, they took her daddy from her. Then she was getting molested by the so-called slave masters.
That's right.
Round up having chicken George. Y'all saying, are these fixing? No, watch Roots. I'm telling you. I made my kids watch it, my older kids. I made them watch it. They used to get mad at me, but they know. Sit down and watch it with them. Explain to them. This is the stuff we went through. This is the reason why you should get out and vote. This is the reason why you should stay your butt in school and get an education. Because we used to get killed for writing.
Yeah, I know.
We used to get lynched for writing.
Yes, I know.
We used to get shot for trying to vote.
Learn how to write your ABCs.
Yeah. Stuff like that. There's a lot of things that we weren't allowed to do that we're not taking advantage of. The smallest thing. Just think. On the low, it's still happening. Kids don't even write in cursive anymore. Everything.
Correct. That's very true.
They don't write anymore. Everything is on their phone. Turn a paper in.
Very funny.
Text somebody. What's your? You gonna have to sign for this. Sign what? Sign. What's your autograph? What's your signature? They even got the computer signature when you do stuff online now.
Unbelievable.
But you still don't need to know how to read. You need to know how to, math is one of the universal things, but still need to know how to count. Count your money, count your people, count your blessings. Some things people take for granted today that, it was good to have. It was good to have that grandma. I miss both my grandma. Miss them to death. I don't know where I'm gonna be without either one of them. God bless their souls. But like I said, I've never met a granddad. I know one time my wife was telling me that she knew she had a relationship with her great grandmas, granddads on both sides, great granddad.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Tim, and I've been knowing you a while, and I will say that, man to man, you have shown some great poise, some great knowledge, some great, we trying to use a man, some great,
Trying to stretch my back.
you have shown a lot of great wisdom. We have had some deep conversations, and you've taught me a couple of things. So, it does not necessarily mean that you did not learn something going through it in life and the challenges and things that you have been through, because we all learn something throughout our travels in life.
Well, some of that comes from also too.
And look at
I hate the word when people say I'm bored. I hate when people say a kid. One of my players the other day said, I think we had a game that day and we all was kind of antsy.
Right.
And he was like, class is boring. I said, you got straight A's? He said, no, but they're good. I said, be bored when you got straight A's.
Correct.
Because if you don't have straight A's, don't need to be bored.
That's correct.
So So when you do things for idle time, like sometimes when I work, I have a lot of quiet time. Like I get the kids out the hallway, I just sit there. Kids walk by, Mr. Tim, because I don't have them call me Mr. Coleman, because Mr. Coleman is my dad.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, there's one Mr. Coleman, that's my dad. So Mr. Tim, you okay? Yeah, like you in space. I'm like, no, I'm just thinking.
Wow.
I'm always thinking. I've learned a lot to do. I've learned a lot of things just by thinking. You know what? I wonder if this. What if that? Can I make myself better? Yeah, I was wrong for that. I shouldn't have did it. But this, that, and the other. But the stuff you do at your idle time. Like right now, I'm so busy. It's been a while since I've been so busy that I'm enjoying being busy. But I'm worried at the end of the day. I'm taking advantage of every hour and every minute I can take care of. So it's like it's some cool stuff going on right now. But I appreciate that. Appreciate that compliment, man. A lot of people, they use the word old a lot. Y'all old school. Y'all old this. Y'all old that. Every now and then the kids be playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Man, I knock your butt out. No, go ahead.
Try.
And then we playing, and I show them something. They're like, "Whoa!" I ain't thinking that. I said, "Of course, because I've got this age for a reason."
Right.
So I got a lot to lose by letting you take me out, and I did it without a gun. I'm gonna show you. I know they try to act like they was gonna show me. I have to be sitting down, and I stood up. Taller.
Right.
Yeah, we gonna get you on this side. This. I said, "Okay, I got a chair. I'm gonna take both." They were like, "Whoa, what are you thinking, chair?" I said, "I know."
Right.
Because my survival, I gotta survive. Y'all living for this moment. I'm living for next week, the next 2 weeks. Y'all living for today. So it's just, I appreciate that though, man. It's like, I appreciate that though.
Well,
The same for you too. You have life lessons where, we've had some deep talks away from the studio, and, you drop by and we sat and talked,
But that's how you are. You get to a point where you learn, and you teach each other so that you can make each other better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like today, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm tired as hell, but it's a good chance. Next week I might not be here. We got a game. We play Roger Bacon at West High. 4:30 freshman, 6 o'clock JV. Probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock varsity. At West High, we play Roger Bacon. But it's a good chance I might get out that game about 9:30. I might be either coming straight to the station or going home, or I might be, I should be okay. Because I don't have like a long work day, and then we got a game. I got the whole Saturday off, then we play. So I'll probably still make it, but you never know these days, man.
Right.
You live out each day to its fullest.
Right.
Tomorrow's my promise. I tell them kids that, like, dude, I'm here, but I might not be here. I said, y'all might hear this stuff from me, and one day, like, I remember Coach Tim told me this one day. I remember Mr. Tim told me this one day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, when it's my day, when it's my time to, whatever, which I really want to be cremated, I don't want to be put in no grave. But when it's my time to have my memorial service, when I'm not here anymore, I want my funeral packed. You ain't got to dress up. You wear your hoodies, you wear your white tees, you wear your Jordans, you wear your Timberlands, you can wear your stilettos. Come as you are. Be you when you come see me. Be you. It's a celebration. Because there's a lot of times I shouldn't even been here. There's a lot of times I wasn't even gonna make it. So when it's my time, I want everybody to come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Tap my urn, whatever.
I'm gonna come in and start cracking jokes.
Yeah, and you know what I'm gonna say to you. You already know. You take that tight ass hat off. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. Take that tight ass hat off.
I'm gonna come in and cracking jokes, cause that's how I remember. That's how I'm gonna remember you. Like,
loosen that up.
I'll be like, don't y'all be sitting around crying, cause you know with his sharp tongue what he gonna do to you. You know what he gonna do, right? That's what I'm gonna do, man. And I tell everybody too, man. When hey, when it's my time, don't drop no tears. Just be able to say something well and have some fun, because that's the way I want to be remembered. Yeah. That's the way I want to be remembered.
So hey. How are the kids in school? How's the school year been this year?
Man, it's been good, man. You know, I'm really happy, and they had a sick scare about 2 weeks ago.
Sick scare?
A sick scare. They closed the school down for 2 days. You know.
We ain't had no sick scare this week.
Yo.
We had. I knew you was coming. You forgot about it, didn't you? We had what they call this called tagging? No, swatting. Swatting.
Right.
I thought somebody got paddled.
You know what?
I seen that on the roof like.
Now, wait a minute though, man.
Swatting.
Hold on, man.
Go ahead.
First of all, why is it that they want to induce panic like that? Okay, and do you know that when you do that to schools, you know that's a criminal offense that never goes away, ever.
Was obviously they called.
One of them, I think they did.
Not CPS.
Not in CPS.
No, no. My boy Kevin called me this week. Kevin called me. Like, Tim, what is going on? What's wrong with him? Like, Kevin, you know they did my school today too? So they did his school at like 8, and they did ours like 9:45 or something.
Oh wow.
So, and when it lets you know what happened. You know, you guys have been a part of this. Probably your school that your children go to. If you went to one of these schools that had this thing happen this week, they airdrop people a picture.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? An old ass table with some old jeans and a gun on it. And they put the school name and they got it off, added their own, they say like Data and West High or Whitbell and blah, 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 blah. You know, somebody blah gonna get, you know, whatever. And they airdropping it to kids in the school or people in the building. So I want to say that was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Man, like 300 early dismissals.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
My thing is this though.
Yeah.
When something like that happens, parents, think about this. Everybody think about this. When something like that happens, the school is on lockdown. You're not getting in, no one's getting in, no one's getting out. Now, if someone is outside the building, you come outside with you, choo choo. The safest place for you to be is in because my group, we ain't let nobody in. And I'm pretty sure all the CPS schools are gonna have it locked down. There's no interest. Now, you're supposed to have all doors locked. They get on me about it. Why you always locking doors? Cause I wanna see if somebody, they ain't supposed to be coming on my floor, they ain't coming on. You ain't got locked doors always, Mr. Timmy. Yes, I do. Perfect example of what happened the other day. My doors stay locked till the bell ring. Then I open them up, change classes, I lock the doors again. But the fact that you want to put terror in the lives of young people, man. And they did it the next day too.
Right.
They did it 2 days in a row at my school.
Well, I know they did it out there to what is that out there?
Princeton?
Was it Dakota or Princeton?
Princeton.
One of them,
Did it
yeah.
Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
That was about a month ago though.
And man, I mean, it's funny.
What about my man with the box cutter on the plane?
Oh man, did you see that? How did he get that on? How did he get that through the metal detector?
I thought they said they gave it back to him. So they told me we need to increase training. No, y'all need to fire that muggle.
Right.
They need to fire dude and let him give it back to him.
I mean, come on. How did he? Unbelievable.
Every people don't want to watch the news. Y'all better start watching the news. Y'all better start watching the news.
I watch the news all the
Man,
time.
I watch the news when I wake up. Watch when I go to bed. I know what the weather is. That's why when people outside cold, I got my long johns on. I got my skull cap on. I ain't gonna be cold for no. You know
That's
but
correct.
also too, one of my, I ain't gonna say who it is. One of my close coworkers. It was a shooting in his apartment complex, and when I seen him that day, I'm like, bro, it was a shooting in your complex? He was like, my wife told me it was, but we just thought it was just random. I was like, nah, bro, that's on the news. Somebody was shooting in your complex. You know, now they trying to say, it ain't downtown no more. Remember, they used to try to make downtown, so they don't want to make it bad anyway because that stadium down there. But anyway, it's all in Westwood. It's in Hamilton. It's in Hartwell. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And, you know, it's even out here in Forest Park.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. You know, and I always say that, you know, you have to be a little bit stronger and a little bit more wiser when you're out there roaming the streets, if you will, and be safe, because, you know, people don't realize that once you pull the trigger, it never comes back.
Like when a man is shot them, I mean, we need to get to the bottom of that story. A man that used to be on the football team in Virginia, but he just so happened to shoot three football players when he shot at a bus.
Right.
He shot the 3 football players.
Unbelievable.
Once again, killing us.
Killing us. Us killing us.
I was listening to a song, I was listening to a couple times a week. The song said, could you imagine if we stopped killing each other for a year? Stop killing each other for 10 years. How many more of us it would be around, and how much more powerful we would be. You know what I'm saying? That's because somebody's dying every other day.
How come we can't be stronger for each other?
I mean, y'all need to start talking and settling your differences. I'm not gonna like everything somebody says, but it's just words. It's just words.
And be a lot better to each other. You know.
Socially, like our middle-aged kids are 7th, 8th, and 9th graders,
Right.
and even 10th graders. They're so emotional and so sensitive to everything, and they don't have no social skills because for like 2 years a year and a half they stared at the screen. It was their own little world. Now you come out from behind that screen, you're back in the classroom.
And they don't really realize.
Yeah.
Man, Tim, man, you got it going on tonight, man. You know?
Just got a lot of stuff going on out there. Just going on, stuff in the community, stuff going on.
You should have called. You should have came by, man. We just sat outside.
Oh no! I mean, I'm not talking about me personally.
And had some,
My everyday shit. It's too cold, bro. Oh.
you know.
It's just things you see, just everyday stuff you see. Then stuff on the news. Then they so ready to take over the house and all this and do this and
Right.
it's almost like it's going. They're trying to go back slowly but surely. Like this fool had the actual nerve to get on and say, "I'm about to run again."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what? Who about to let you run? You about to get the book thrown at you.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in the news all year, man.
What you about to run to the White House? Because you running for the White House is totally different. You about to get hit with charges, bro.
Oh man. Hey, look. Leave toupee wearer alone, okay? Leave my man with the toupee alone, okay? That's all I can say.
But I heard we got some strong brothers about to come up.
Oh yeah. Nancy Pelosi, I really feel sorry about her.
Oh my gosh, man, that right there.
Okay.
That's a bunch of that's a lot of cowards in this world.
Right.
There,
You know, I really feel sorry about her husband. You know,
and she probably need to take care of him, probably.
Right, and so she's she's stepping down so that she can probably take care of her husband. And I will say this, you know, don't be a coward. You know, you go after a man 3 times your age, and think that is okay. No,
blasted him.
Right, he should have blasted him. And so no, it was not okay. And I will say that some of the people who are up and coming now in the House and in the Congress and in our government now are going to be very much more stronger than what has been in previous. Even Joe, he cool and everything, but it's time for him. It is time for
What
Joe.
vice president?
Hey man, look.
What vice president? I ain't seen it.
Man,
Where's she at?
It is time for
See her hair done?
everybody
Where
to
is the
sit
vice
back.
president? Where is the vice president?
Look.
I have not seen her.
Look, she is busy, okay?
Getting her hair done?
Getting her hair
Getting
done.
pedicures?
Yeah.
I haven't seen her.
You know, it's time
I have not seen
for
her.
everybody to step up and understand that these people who are coming up today, right? They're not going to be taking this stuff like everybody else. It's over now. It really
You
is.
treated me so bad.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
It's over now. It is.
It's all over, baby.
It's over now.
But
It's over now.
just hope they don't give me a switch or a chain
We hope they don't.
or a pocket chain.
We hope they don't. Really and truly.
What's some of their names?
Huh?
You know some of the names?
No, I do not. A lot of them are really new. I was really sad to see Stacey Abrams didn't make it. But I believe that.
I tell you what, I was happy they did make it. I'm tired of seeing his bad hairstyle too.
Who's that?
Shabbat.
You know.
I was happy to Shabbat. I was glad to see him go. Get him out of there. Shabbat. Get him out.
Oh man. Look.
I was happy.
But it is time
That's
for
good
a
for our
lot.
city though.
It is time for a lot of them to go. It really is. A lot of them have had, it's enough now. It's time for a lot of them as we begin to retire, then it is time for some of them to also retire. Okay? I mean, it's just too much now. It really is. It's time for them to go. Really. Everybody has had their turn. Right? And it's time to move aside and let the new group take over.
And I think they said for the past 20 years, or usually whenever the president is a Republican, the House is usually Democrat. Whenever the president is Democrat, the House is usually Republican. So if it
Right.
switches, that's what we've been doing for years.
Right.
So it's not.
I think it's time
Shabbat.
for them to go, man.
Shabbat.
This has been a very unusual show, ladies and gentlemen, that we've had out here
It was
tonight.
good though.
We
People need to talk more.
we have to be able to communicate more
Listen.
and listen
Listen
more.
more than you speak. Sometimes you might get something.
And you might learn something.
Both.
You know what I mean?
Both.
And
Teach your girls how to be a young lady. Teach your daughters how to be a young lady.
teach your boys how to be mean.
Yeah, both. Don't. No. There's a reason why they say that. There's a reason why it's a word made up.
That's correct.
It's a made up word. It's a made up acronym for how you act. That over there. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
That's correct. And be able to teach them so that they can be better people in this
I'll
world.
repeat this. If you're a thought, and your daughters see you being a thought, they're going to be a thought. Because they think that's the normal thing to do. They never thought of that.
They never thought of that.
Yeah. Like, as far as like the dress, how they dress, their hairstyle, like, I understand your daughter might need her hair done. Well, you got braids all the way down to the floor. You get them caught in the door when you're going through the hallway.
Shake them up, man.
No, I'm just saying, man. It's like some hairstyles aren't for 12, 13, 14-year-olds. Now, once you get a little older and you're a junior in high school, you start dating, going to prom, and stuff like that. I get that. But when you got a 155 piece in your hair and you're 12 years old, you can't even walk straight.
You said what?
155 piece. And you got the Mr. Stuffleupagus eyebrows. Every time you blink, it's another day. Monday, Tuesday.
Stop,
Wednesday.
dear.
You go to sleep, wake up, it's a whole nother month. You know, all the eyebrows you got on. Come on, bro.
Hey, wait a minute though.
What's up?
Wait a minute though. True story. I went out to eat one night.
All right.
Right? I was sitting there, I was getting ready to eat something, right? Stuck before he came up with an eyebrow.
Some stitches. Came in with some stitches.
Came up with an eyebrow, man. Right? Come on, man. Really. I mean, if God didn't give you long eyelashes, right? It ain't meant for you to have.
Hey, bro, talk to the people for a little bit. I got to take
It
a
ain't
break.
meant for you to have, man. It just look. Have what you have naturally. You know, I don't like nothing fake. I want you to have everything that you have 100% naturally. I don't want your eyebrows to be fake. I don't want your hair to be fake. I don't want your nails to be fake. I want everything about you to be completely. I don't want your attitude to be fake. I don't want your religion to be fake. I want you to be 100% completely real. Be real with yourself. Be real about yourself. Be real to yourself. Because if you have to go around being fake, then everything about you is fake. Then what are you saying to yourself about yourself when you look in the mirror or when you talk to somebody else? Are you being real? Are you being true? Or are you just being straight up fake? You know, Alexander O'Neal had a song that came out, Fake, and so why would you wanna?
Now I understand maybe special occasions, you get your hair done, for grown-ups.
For grown-ups.
But you got braids all the way down to your ankles and your kneecaps. For what? You can't concentrate in class. You constantly doing this. You got to move it out the way.
Do you realize that that's why some schools don't let them wear?
Really?
Yeah, they don't let them wear. They don't let them wear that kind of stuff. You can't. In some schools, you can't have hair color, nor can you have braids, unless they're natural braids.
Bro, and these little girls, they be having orange hair. I'm like, is it the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? They be having green. One little chick, she had some green, red, black and green. I called her George Clinton. She said, who was that? I said, look him up. She came back the next minute like, that ain't me. I said, you got the same hair color? Like, you letting your kids actually go out.
You really called her George Clinton?
She didn't know what it was, though. We want the funk. I started singing songs. She was like, she came back, I guess she Googled him and came back like, I don't look like him. Nope, but your hair does.
Sure does,
You're
yeah.
12, 13 years old.
That's correct.
Then when it started growing back, like you put it in there, right? This the kicker right here.
Oh, here we go.
This is the kicker. When it grows back,
Right.
it's time to get it done again. So I have a little afro in front of right here. Then they be having a little stuff, I guess it's called edge control, and it be white, it look like Crisco. When it get cold, it be like caked on white. It's like, come on, put something on there. It should not look like Crisco. I should not see that. So it's like, you gotta teach them young, because eventually they ain't gonna listen to you no more. Cause you let them do it now, by the time they 18, 19, they out of control. Or they pregnant.
Right.
But teaching them the same thing, you let them allow to do it, it's gonna be even worse. Because usually, it gets worse as the generation goes on. It gets worse.
Wow.
It gets worse. Sometimes I have to, I'm so hard on myself sometimes. I'm like, I have to sit down like, me and the wife, I'm like, we did a good job. We did the best we can do. They're grown now, they're doing some of their own things. We did the best that we can do. The grown decision they make is on them. We still got one.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that. We still have a child in the house. That's our focus. That's our responsibility. Not your problems, not other people's problems. We still have a child in the house. And we're gonna raise that child the right way, just like we did the other ones. So it's like, cause we want her to grow up and be successful. And she probably has learned from her other siblings, maybe to finish school, or maybe to, try harder and listen more.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one going to high school pretty soon myself. And
now, are you, I'm about to ask.
Yeah, I know what you're about to
She's
ask.
about to go to it's gonna be a GCL school?
I'm hoping that I'm able to convince her to go. She's talented, so and she wants to.
SBCA.
That's
that right?
Yep. I want her to go there.
School Creative.
Yep. I want her.
SCPA.
I want her to either go there or to the Big Hill.
The Big Hill. What is that?
Walnut Hills.
Now, I know it's a CPS school. I don't care. It's not for everybody.
I know.
It's not for everybody.
I know.
It's not for everybody. They are going to cater to them a little more.
I know.
My daughter did go there. My oldest daughter.
I know.
She wound up leaving and we wanted with her.
Oh, really?
I think I think every daughter after that, I think they failed the Wonder Hill test on purpose, so they have to go. So, it's.
I either wanted to go there or Purcell Marion.
That's not bad.
That's where that's where I wanted to go to Purcell Marion. The problem is getting her over there because we live where we live.
Yeah.
You know, I think that those will be three of the top picks I would have to pick for her.
If you don't mind me asking, the wife or something, is more us there?
It's more the academics.
Okay.
I'm academics all the way around. If I had one that was athletic, then I would send him somewhere over there with you somewhere, right? But her being,
West I ain't for no suburban kid. I'll let you know that.
But her being very high in academics.
Yeah. Now she went to Dana. That's like Walnut Hills West.
Yes, but I wanted to go there, and then Purcell Marion, one of the two. You know, to get her downtown would be easy.
Yeah.
But to get her to one of the other ones would be a little bit more difficult on me in transportation and getting her there. But I think that one of those three would be a better fit for her.
Did she play soccer or volleyball this year?
She didn't do neither one.
She
started.
Okay, there you go.
She started, and I think that she'd be good in a sport like that.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, and I think you respect my honesty. I know Delilah and Devin. I don't want to go.
Della.
Donna.
Yeah. And so
sometimes the middle child, sometimes they lack.
They sit back. She
Yeah.
sits back, and she and
she's not the oldest.
She's not the oldest. She's not the youngest. So she sits back and waits. But I think that since Delilah got one more year in the school that she's in, I'm leaning more toward either Walnut Hills or Purcell Marion.
Are you going to be relocating soon?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, if I do, it won't be far from where I'm at.
Okay. I got you.
If I do.
I know we talked about that before too.
Yeah. It
not
won't be.
We're not putting specifics.
It's not far from where I'm at.
I got you.
So it will still be a challenge to get her from that point to across town to one of those schools.
It might be easier than what you think, because if you take her down.
Really?
When you watch this, why I hit you with. If you take her down to the new terminal in Northside.
Yeah, I saw that.
51.
And put her on there and get her on the 51. That's a thought.
And she can get off right there by the UDF and whatever else would take her right there.
And cross right there.
31 take her
right there. That's a thought. I
I
never thought of that.
Look, cause you're a bad bus driver trained like I
No,
was.
no, man. I never thought of that one.
I still know the buses, man.
You know, I never thought of that. But you know, they restructured them pretty well too now. You know.
Heck, we do. I ain't about to give them no credit.
Look, you know what? Don't start.
Don't you get me started.
Don't you start, man.
I ain't gonna get started.
Don't start, man. You know, look, leave the metro.
I ain't bothering them. I just said I was.
Leave the metro.
You know what feels good, bro?
What?
When I'm standing outside in the afternoon, watching kids get on the bus. They have to catch regular routes, of course. It's really sad that they don't have school routes anymore, because a lot of the incidents and bad activity that happens after school, it would be eliminated if we had school routes still in front of our schools.
Right.
So, but the good feeling is when I'm standing out there, some of my old coworkers, they go by, they honk at me.
Right.
How you doing?
Right.
Yeah, you doing good. I see you on the radio show. I see you, It's nice to see you, okay? Every day it's routine. How you doing? So that's a good feeling that, even though, you know the fake ones and you know the ones that.
You know the fake ones and you know the real ones, yeah.
Yes.
And some of the, they got a lot of new ones, so a lot of them I don't know. But there's been a lot of them that are still there that know me, and it's weird because you never know that you made that kind of impression on
I
people.
pull up on them and I'm like, what lane you supposed to be in?
You see, wrong.
What lane supposed to be in?
You wrong,
Where your
man.
signal at?
Why you do that, man? Why you do that?
Help me on
man?
that 33, you know.
No.
You know you're supposed to split the lane on that 33.
Right.
When they ain't in there, I get up right on the side of them. I go over there and look at them like.
You wrong for that, man. You know, I'll tell you where I was one day. I was over there getting a shirt done right over there near you. There's a embroidery place over there. And you know when you're doing that 33 and you coming up right there where there's a UDF on one
That's
corner.
what I'm talking about.
Right there, Quebec, right there.
Close by, yeah.
Right.
Please, Warsaw and Glenway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't split that lane.
Right.
Tore that mirror completely off of it.
Mm-hmm.
He tore it. And I was standing there and I was looking at him and he had to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to him and said, who was your trainer? And he said, what's it to you? I said, because I know you was taught how to split that lane, right?
You never know who's watching.
He just looked at me, right?
Yeah, you never
Because
know.
he did not split that lane. He tore that mirror completely off. Because that pole right there, if there's a car on there, you know what you're going to get.
Bring the school routes back. If you care about our community, bring the school routes back to the schools. They need them. They're getting all kinds of stuff.
Why did they?
School.
That was
I
one
don't
of
know.
the dumbest things they could have ever did.
So let's know how much they care about our youth.
That was one of the.
That's my opinion.
That was one of the dumbest things they could ever did. Was take away
I
the
think
school route.
both sides need to sit back down again and try to talk this out over
You
the
know,
summer.
to take the school routes out. You shouldn't have never done that.
Especially we got people talking about they about to. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the perfect time to shoot as many people you want at the end of school when
And
everybody
then-
out.
Right. That was one of the dumbest things they could have did. Was,
A little bit
you
of,
know,
I think it's gonna take a little bit for both sides to sit down and do what they need to do and talk about it. It's not just one-sided, but a company with money and power that they have. Come on, bro. You're part of the community. Help the community. Get these kids back to school.
well, they didn't want to do that.
Two sides of every story.
3 sides, I was told, but you know, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. See, you learn. You come from another generation when they say 3 sides.
it's
so I
3
need to learn
sides.
that, yeah.
Yep, it's 3 sides. You know, so you know, hey man, who you taking next week? Ohio State or Michigan?
Ooh, hey man. Michigan barely won today. I think
Right.
both teams.
Ohio State barely won.
I think both teams were looking forward to next week's game. But I'm gonna tell you something. I was talking to one of my guys I coach with today, and I told him this, and I'm very serious about this. I don't root for no local teams.
You never do. Why?
When it comes to colleges, I
Right.
definitely don't. I will root for the Bengals.
Right.
Local colleges, Xavier.
Why?
Says, you know how much talent has left this area in the past 10, 15 years?
No, sir. No, I don't.
A lot
on
of it.
that.
I know, I saw a lot of it. Basketball wise, football wise, a lot of it. You know, perfect example. My son he was in junior college. He came home for the summer. He had to visit UC. I dropped him off. I went to work at like 2:45. He's supposed to have a meeting at 3:15. Come 3:30, he texted and called me back like, "Pop, they left me out here. This is at UC now. This is where Mick Cronin was at. They said they can't visit me today. They too busy."
What?
Did they reschedule? No, they couldn't. They were about to leave and go out of town.
Oh.
But I'm just saying though, stuff like that, you doing our local kids like that. It's so much talent that's been here over the past 15 years. That some of the talents have been left here. A lot of them kids probably would have been more successful being closer to home.
Well, you do realize that Deion Sanders said something really profound. This is the reason why he is coaching not a Ivy League or a Big Ten, or he's coaching these HBCU schools, because those are the schools that you never, there's very many talented men and women there at these schools in some of these programs that never get recognized. But you pay attention to some of these other schools and don't ever look at the HBCU schools. And so that's talent that never gets recognized or never makes it to the big show, to the big games, to the NFL, to the NBA, to the pro tennis leagues, to the golfing leagues, and some of them are so much more talented than what you are able to see. So I fully understand where you're coming from. I mean,
I really support. So for me to say it, right, one of the reasons why I said that because I've loved Michigan since I was a little kid anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I love that colors. Most time when you root for a team, you like because
You like the colors, right?
Like, so I love Michigan, man. I was watching today, my man I coach with, I was assistant on varsity and his junior varsity coach. He's from Detroit. So we both love Michigan. He was on the way to the school, and I'm like, I'm 2 minutes away. I can leave. So I was telling him, we both was following the game today, and they kicked that field goal at the end. But to be honest, I want Michigan to win. But if that running back for theirs doesn't come back, Corum, they're playing at Ohio State, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be ugly, too. They need him in that atmosphere to run the ball and control the tempo and control that clock. Because the more you give Ohio State chances, in a rivalry game.
That's what happened tonight. They gave Ohio State
in a rivalry game.
They gave Ohio State too many chances, and they edged it out.
It's gonna get ugly.
So,
yeah.
Well, man, it's about. Oh man, we got about 20 more minutes, man.
So you breathe to the Bengals out there. What's going on with it?
Man, everybody was worried about what the Bengals were gonna do without Lamar Chase, and it's really sad that when your team is one-dimensional. You have all these other weapons out there. Let's utilize those weapons instead of just trying to be just one-dimensional. Lamar Chase, is one of your big playmakers, but you have other playmakers on your team in order to win games. You established your running game last time against a weak defensive front. Well, this time you're going in against one of the leading pass rushers in the NFL in T.J. Watt. So let's
yeah, because Carolina's they booty.
So
with 2 cheeks.
Let's show everybody out there that you are not just one-dimensional, and use some of your other ways of winning. Be able to put your running back, your premier running back, if you will, Mixon out there in the slot, and let him be able to catch and then run.
My other team, 83.
Be able to put be able and see that
he is a big. That's old. Tennessee is old school football.
Man, and he be hitting the whole hole.
Man, if I see him, I'm gonna act like I got a cramp. I'm telling you, man, that's a big dude. Once he get downhill,
and you know what? And he mean with it too. I ain't seen nobody mean like that.
Earl Campbell.
No. What's the guy? He was just on TV interviewing Aaron Rodgers the other day. Marshawn Lynch. Yeah. Oh. I ain't seen nobody young and mean like that in a long time.
He is a
but he come through the
tractor.
He come through there hitting them all.
If he get 3 steps, 3-4 steps, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
You gotta get them legs going.
Yeah, he be hitting you hard too. But the Bengals, show them that you are not just one-dimensional.
Try to.
At least. You got these other.
The Mixon scored out on touchdown, but I say he scored them against the Panthers.
You got these other receivers. Mm-hmm. Show that they can do something else besides.
It's a rivalry game. It's so bad. Hold on. I'm not talking about the Bengals. I'm just saying the rivalry is so bad right now because the teams aren't that good. They took them off the Sunday night. Primetime game.
Who did? They did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, that game was supposed to be Sunday Night Football. They swapped it with the Kansas City game. They swapped that, man.
Really?
Yeah. They swapped that.
I did not know that.
Hold on, is that next week or this week?
What?
They play the Steelers.
Tonight? That's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow afternoon. 4:25. 4:25. One,
yeah, man.
I'll be sitting right there in front of the TV. Hey, you know what, man? I might have would you like to go to a game?
You ready? Hell no, that's too cold. I'm getting older, bro. I can't sit out in the cold. I cannot. You got box seats?
No, man.
Well, no, man.
But I do got seats on the 50-yard line.
They in the box? They inside?
No.
I will be watching it in the living room in front of the fireplace.
It's December 4th.
I don't care. If it was November 4th,
It's December
I
4th.
can have all the long johns I want. It's too cold to be sitting outside. I can't do it, man. I cannot. I cannot sit out in the cold. This year, I'm so cold this year, man. It's like, I know I'm getting older, but I feel cold. I feel really, really cold. Like, I've been sleeping, I've been sleeping with pajamas on lately, man. I know I'm getting old.
You get old, man.
Pajamas and footies.
And you get, not the footies.
Man, I can put on a clean pair of socks.
Uh-huh.
I want my feet to be warm. I mean,
You get old, man.
you
You get old,
might
man.
be taking the covers. I had to snatch it back the other day. I said, you felt me pull them covers back? Yeah, it was cold, bro. It was cold last night. 17? Shoot, that's cold.
You get old, bro.
Yeah.
What happened to what happened to the Tim I used to know,
He
man?
lost weight, man. He a little light in the ass.
You look like, you better get some of that. You better get some.
No,
Hey,
I know. I live longer,
better get
bro.
some of that, boy.
Yeah.
Some of that right there.
Nah, you keep that.
And you know, and I gotta lose some of
I
that.
lost 15 pounds, man.
Yeah, I gotta lose some of that
I
myself,
don't even
man.
want it back.
Yeah.
I have to be cold without 15 pounds. That's what I gotta do.
I'm
I'm sleeping with pajamas on,
about to
cuz.
call you. I'm about to call you. Why? Tell us.
I was sleeping with
What happened
pajamas
to
on,
him?
cuz.
What happened?
Real.
So what you do? Hey, so what you doing for Turkey Day, man? Family Day.
I think, you know, my thing is traditionally I usually cook the turkey.
Okay.
Every now and then when it's warm, we usually do that for Christmas. We usually barbecue for Christmas.
Okay.
But I always traditionally cook the turkey.
Okay.
It's funny because now some of our daughters, they're in charge of a dish. They might be in charge of this.
Okay.
Might be in charge of that. They help with the greens.
Okay.
So, yeah, one day just think I won't be cooking at all.
Well, look at here, man. I got some turkey tips to throw on the
Turkey
grill.
what?
Turkey tips.
I said, how turkey dip? No, never mind. I'm sleepy. I was like, turkey. What? I was about to say,
You sleepy, man.
I was about to
Stop,
say,
man.
what did you just say?
Stop, man.
Oh my God.
Look.
Say that P hard.
Some turkey
tips. Okay, like the pips.
But I got some turkey tips.
Okay.
And they good when you put them on the grill, man.
Yeah.
So, you
Tip
know.
of what? What the tip of?
The tip of the turkey.
Where's the tip? The head? No. Hold on. Explain that. Where do turkey tips come from?
They like the anyway,
No,
that's
ain't no
part of the
anyway.
turkey, and they good, and they come in squares,
Okay.
right? And you put them on the grill,
Alright.
season them, put them on the grill,
Uh-huh.
and they're very good.
Okay.
So you invite me over, I'll bring the turkey tips.
No, we good. You know, you put no damn turkey tips on my grill. You don't know where they came from. Psych.
You know what, man? You know it's been fun, man. I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad
boy,
for us to be
boy
back.
in fight sleep like a toddler.
You
boy.
know what I mean? You know, and look at here, man. We gotta do it next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm probably gonna have my equipment with me
Okay.
and roll straight from the game. I might have some West Side gear.
But you know what though? That tune you was playing when we first came in,
Mm-hmm.
you said it was an old school tune.
Came out like 94.
That was tight, man. You know.
like, I can't play it on the air because it got some cussing in it. But yeah, I had a good time just sitting there, just chopping up, catching up.
Yeah, man. You know, and this
That's
is what
what me gotta sit down and talk.
this is
You
what
gotta
we
have
have to do
me, you gotta have
sometimes.
me time and
You know what I
talk
mean?
things out, say what's going on.
And we have to be able to do that in order to show that we are not just one dimensional ourselves. We are men of courage, men of strength, men of pride, men of integrity, men of knowledge, men of wisdom, so that we can give it to each other, to y'all, for each other.
How's Uncle doing? How's Uncle doing?
Uncle doing okay, man.
What's up, Unc?
You know, he doing okay. You
What
know,
up, Unc?
He
Uncle,
he,
damn,
he,
put you on the phone.
he's still yeah, he's still talking stuff, man. You know, and I'm really happy that I've made it to see another year.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll be going into a new year pretty soon.
And what happened to this year,
and
man?
we'll be 3 years together, man.
Yeah, goodness.
Man, no time fly when we having fun.
Yeah, it was, yeah, it's gone by really, really, really fast.
You know, and
know, that's why sometimes I really hate coming by myself because, you know, I prepare for a 2-hour mix. You know, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Took at least 3 decades, but the energy and the conversation that when two black men can sit down and have a good conversation is key to what Two on the Mic is. So not having it, even when we joke, even when we disagree, we still can, you know, sit down and talk. But yeah, I mean, it's cool now and then, but
You know, as the elders,
come by myself, but
as the elders used to say all the time, right? And if you've ever seen some of the movies where you have black men who understand what we are going through and how we are looking at things and how we are dealing with things, you know, and this is the way that we come along to teach our sons and to teach our daughters how to be strong and how to be prominent in this world today of distinction and division and rhetoric, and we must be able to sit down and be able to give knowledge to one another all the time.
and you know, you some of the younger generation, I don't think my generation wasn't bad. I know yours wasn't bad like that.
No.
But sit down, listen. It's obvious we've been around for a while.
Correct.
Some of us are perfect examples of how to do it. Some of us are great examples of how to be parents. Some of us are great examples how to be the best husband you can be, the best wife you can be, the best dad, mother, best sister, brother, you know. Some of us just are examples of why we're still here. Of course, there's some people that's around here that are not doing the right thing, but use them as examples just as well.
To know what to know what not to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta learn from both.
You gotta be able to know from both sides.
You know, I ain't no college graduate. I went to the military, that's about it. Shout out to all the veterans that served.
That's right.
You know, that was in the air, that was in the woods with wheel, that was in land, that was on the sea like me. Shout out to y'all. You know, I don't really realize sometimes how much of a sacrifice that I made by doing that. When, you know, we see cities on TV and my wife will say, "Oh, I would like to go there. I've never been there before." And I can sit there and say, "I've been there."
Yeah, I've been there.
She's like, "What?" Like, yeah, I've been there. I was like 18, 19. But
Right.
I wouldn't realize at the time that it was a great experience for me. Now, 35 years later, I'm like, dang, I went there.
Mm.
So
To cross the ocean twice, 3 times.
I've been in the Mediterranean Sea.
You've been in the Mediterranean Sea.
I've been up by Russia.
You know, but to cross those.
Hold on. We're gonna say it again. I've been up by Russia, cuz.
Man.
I've been to the North Pole.
I guarded the Great Wall.
Check it out. The North Pole. Ain't even get no Christmas present.
Well, I guarded the Berlin Wall, and let me tell you, you know, when you have seen these things and they're no longer there anymore, or when you have done these things and you realize that it's a part of history, and you were a part of that piece of history for that moment, it is very eye opening and it will straighten you up a whole lot, you know. But you know what? We're going to have to get ready to get on up out of here in a couple of minutes, Tim.
Yeah, we got about 7 minutes.
Got about 7 minutes, and I want to say this to everybody within the sound of our voice. You know, this has been a very a different kind of show. You know, we call this Two on the Mic. We have a good time. But tonight, we decided to sit down and just have some conversation.
Unrehearsed, too. We didn't think
No,
of
we
this.
didn't rehearse this.
Like, I actually got to play this, but I didn't get to it because conversation was so good. This was
Yeah.
not planned at all.
We did not. We usually play music, and please come back next week because we will have some music for you. But let me say this to each and every one of you that may have heard our show tonight. If you did not get something out of it, get this. You know, you should take the time out to sit down and listen to your children, listen to your sons, your daughters. Take time out to listen to your wives, your husbands. Take the time out. You know, as we start to go into the season of giving thanks for that that you may not never be able to have another chance to do that. You know, people leave here every day, you know, and once they're gone, you know, there is no being able to go back and say, I wish I could have talked to them now. Because there's a lot of people who are gone that I wish I could just sit down and just have this kind of a conversation with them. So as you sit around the table and you look at those people who are there who mean much to you, be very understanding that in the blink of an eye, when God says come home, they will be gone.
It's fun. It's not funny you say that. I should stop saying that. But that happened to me. My dad's older sister, which is my aunt, right before she passed, I called to check on her a couple days before. She was in the hospital, and she said, "Don't laugh." She said, "Timmy," that's my family call me, "Timmy, I need you to come see me." I went to see her, and she told me some stuff that no one has ever told me about me. And that was like one of the greatest things ever, even though I know she wasn't with us anymore. God bless the dead. But to sit down and that's why I'm making my phone calls tomorrow to some of my aunts on my mom's side. Hopefully my dad ain't working. He always working, but what can I say?
Right.
But she told me a lot of interesting things about family history, you know, about my grandma being born on the Indian reservation, where it was, and how she got this name, and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes people, you don't know. So, like, for instance, I never got to see, like, the relationship that they had with my mom. Like, we love your mom, you know? Even though she wasn't with your dad, well, we still love Strong. My mom, that's my mama's name when she was at Woodward, Strong, his name was Tiny. But she would tell me stories that I had never known. But it was a special time to get to talk to someone before they, you know, was not here with us physically. But I will always remember that.
And those are things that you have to understand, Tim. And I'm a little older than you, and I'll say this.
Oh.
And I'll say this, that, you know, it comes a time when you do have to just take that time out to be around those people and understand, you know, what they are, what value that they have to give, and the knowledge that they have to give, and you may think that it's a bunch of BS, you know, you just old talking that, but you know.
Just think, nobody can ever take that conversation away from us.
Never, you know, and if you sit back and you just open up as I said earlier, close your mouth, open your ears, and open up your brain, you might learn something, you know. So we're gonna get out of here, and since it's been a very good show, I'm gonna leave it like this to y'all, right? Thank y'all for listening. Come on back next week. We will have some music for you next week. We are Two on the Mic. I'm Mr. Will the Thrill.
I'm your boy DJ Tim C.
And remember this. Without him, there's no me. Without him, there's no you. Without him, there's nothing. So please, take the time out to get on your knees and say a little prayer to him for everybody else and yourself. That's all we have. Good night, y'all. That's Two on the Mic. Peace.